Good morning, students. We are learning water resource engineering and hydrology. We are discussing on dams and reservoir. Well, from the previous lecture, we have discussed about reservoirs. In today's lecture, we will discuss about reservoir capacity. Well, for the determination of the reservoir capacity, it is very useful to study the mass inflow curve and demand curve. We have briefly discussed about mass inflow curve in the previous sessions, but in today's lecture, let's again brief about mass inflow curve and the demand curve. Well, talking about the mass inflow curve, a mass inflow curve is a plot between accumulated flow that we can consider as a runoff in a stream against the time. Well, here in the graph, it is indicated that a mass curve can be prepared from the flow hydrograph. Now, how the flow hydrograph it seems. So, this is the flow hydrograph that is from discharge to the time. Well, the area under the hydrograph from the starting year, here you can see from 1957 to 1960, that represent the total quantity of water that has flown through the stream, and hence it is equal to the ordinates of the mass curve at that particular time, which is shown in this mass inflow curve. The ordinate of mass inflow curve corresponding to different types are thus determined and plotted at the respective times to obtain the mass inflow curve. Well, a mass inflow curve continuously rises as it shows the accumulated flows, because when you accumulated the things, it will gradually increase. Well, the slope of the curve, which is mentioned in this graph, that at any point the rate of flow with respect to the time. If there is no flow during the certain period, the curve will be horizontal for that particular time duration, and that if there is a high rate of flow, the curve will seems the steep curve. So that is about the mass inflow curve. Now if we talk about the demand curve, well, a demand curve or the mass curve is plot of accumulated demand and time. This curve can be used when there is a high demand with respect to the time. Well, if the demand is at a constant rate, then the demand curve would seems like a straight line and having its slope equal to the demand rate. Well, however, if the demand is not constant, then the demand curve will be curved and it will indicate the variability in the demand rate. So now let's discuss about determination of reservoir capacity for a specific yield using the mass inflow curve. So from the mass inflow curve, we can also derive the reservoir capacity. So for that, what we need to proceed? So first, that a mass inflow curve is prepared from the flood hydrograph for the number of consecutive years, as here mentioned from 1980 to 1985. Okay, now also prepare the mass curve of demand on the same scale. So if the rate of demand is constant, then the corresponding demand curve will be the straight line as shown here in the figure. Well, from the points A1, A2, A3, here mentioned in this figure that A1, A2 and A3, the mass inflow curve draw a tangent that is parallel to the demand curve. So when we have plotted this demand curve, now we have to make a tangent that is parallel to this slope. So we need to put a roller scale over here, and then we have to stretch a parallel line which make a tangent line at A1 point and A2 point as well as A3 point. Okay, so we have to plot this tangent line. Now measure the maximum vertical intercept E1 D1, E2 D2, E3 D3, etc. between the tangent and the mass inflow curve. Now this vertical intercept indicates the volume by which the inflow falls of demand. For example, we can say here you can see for a period corresponding to the point A1 and C1, well, C1 to D1 represent the net inflow. For example, for a period corresponding to the A1 and C1, C1 D1 represent the net inflow, while C1 E1 represent the demand. Well, the volume of E1 D1 has to be provided from the reservoir storage. Okay, because here the flow is decreasing rather than increasing. Okay, so here for this point of time or for this situation, the volume of water that has to be provided by the reservoir storage. The biggest of the vertical coordinate that of E1 or E1 D1 or E2 D2 or E3 D3, that will give you the reservoir capacity. Here you can see that E1 D1 has 800 value and E2 D2 has the value as a 2100. So E2 D2 is the reservoir capacity, as this is the biggest value among the all these vertical ordinates. Now, it should be noted that the vertical distance between the successive tangents represents water wasted over the spillway. The spillway must have sufficient capacity to discharge this particular volume that here we have shown as a 800 and 2100, etc. So from this figure we can make an observation that the required reservoir capacity, that is 2100 hectare into meter. Also, assuming that the reservoir to be full at the A1 point as it is depleted to 800. Okay, so actual capacity we assume that that is 2100, and here the lake is 800. So the reservoir is depleted by 1300 hectare into meter, that is at point D, and we can say again at the point of B1 it gets at a full reservoir level. Now if we solve an example that is related to the reservoir capacity, then well so here we are given with the monthly runoff volume. Okay, also we have the demand, that is 8.33 millimeter cube per month. Okay, and the water year here is taken as a June to May month. Okay, now if the reservoir is half full at the beginning of the year, we have to locate the period of excess flow and depletion. Well, first of all, let's make a tabular form of these values. So here is the month and runoff volume. In the question they have mentioned that water year is from June to May. So from 1st June to May and then again June to May. Total value is given is 24. So all the value is plotted here. Now as we know that to plot a mass curve, first of all we need accumulated runoff. So accumulated runoff will be for the first month 3, then accumulation of June and July, that is 9, then June, July and August 25, then June, July, August, September 55, and so on. So after the 24th month, that accumulated runoff will be 250 million meter cube. Now on the graph we have to plot accumulated runoff on the y-axis and time in the x-axis. So the graph will be like this. So from this graph, now we have to identify the time of depletion and time of excess flow. Now, whenever we plot these values, that is about the mass inflow curve. But also we are given with the demand. The demand is 8.33 million meter cube per month. For a single month, that demand is 8.33 million meter cube. Okay. Now, again after 1 month, the next 1 month duration, the demand would be the same. Here we are taking total 4 months, that August, September, October, November and December. So the demand for the individual month would be the same. So total demand after the 4 months, that would be 8.33 into 4, that is 33.32. So that point comes over here. Now we will join the point of August month to this particular point, then we will get one line or one slope, we can say. Now to plot the tangent line at mass inflow curve, we have to make a parallel line from this demand curve, and that is shown over here at point E. So this is the tangent line that is parallel to this demand curve. Now from this particular tangent line, we have to make a vertical line which is having the maximum value, and that will give us the reservoir capacity. Yes, okay. So if we plot a vertical line, then that value is 30 million meter cube. So from this graph, now we have the reservoir capacity as a 30 million meter cube. So this is how we can determine the reservoir capacity from the mass inflow curve. Now with that also, here we have to mention that what is excess flow and what is depletion flow for this duration. So for that we can say the overflow period, that is from September to May for the first year. So from this point to this point, that would be excess flow. Again same way, from this point to the end point, that would be again the overflow. But the depletion would occur in between this particular line to this particular duration. So from September to May, we can say it's an overflow period, and again from August to May, that would be again an overflow period, and June to August, that would be depletion period. Okay. Now the next topic, that is determination of safe yield from the reservoir of given capacity. Well, the mass inflow curve may be also used to determine the safe yield from a reservoir. Well, for that the procedure is that first we need to prepare the mass inflow curve. Now on the same diagram, we have to draw the straight lines from the common origin, representing that the demands at various rates, let's say varying from 0 to 500 hectare into meter per year, which is already mentioned over here. Well, from the points A1, A2, A3, okay, of the mass inflow curve, we have to draw the tangents in such a way that their maximum departure from the mass inflow curve does not exceed the specified reservoir capacity. Well, here E1, D1, E2, D2, E3, D3, etc. are all equal to the reservoir capacity. Well, here as mentioned in this graph, that E1, D1 is mentioning that the reservoir capacity is 1500 hectare into meter. Now with that, we have to measure the slope of each these tangents, and that slope will indicate the yield which can be attained in each year from the reservoir of given capacity. The slope of flattest demand line, which is considered as the safe yield. So now here you can see, here in this demand, we can say the line at 2500 it seems flattest, then that would be the safe yield capacity. Okay, so this is almost same as the previous cases. Okay, in the previous case we have only one demand, and in this case we are assuming, or we are taking more demand curves, more demand at various rates. Okay, so that is the main difference between the previous method and this method. Okay, and from all this demand rate, the flattest demand rate would be considered as the safe yield. So this is all for today's lecture. Thank you so much, students, for your kind attention. I will see you in the next lecture.